Hey everybody, my name is Danny Navarro. We're out here in Boyle Heights and we're here with Kendy.
Hey guys, I'm Kendy Irazu and I'm here visiting Danny and see what he has going on.
We're gonna check out this, it's 2 properties. They're a total of 4 units on each lot. So we have 4 units here and have 4 units over here. They're under construction right now. So we're gonna take a look at it. It's very rare that you get a double lot, especially in Boyle Heights. So come and check it out.
What do we have going on right here, Danny?
So we just actually tore down this one. This one had a basement. So a lot of the houses in Boyle Heights right now, in this particular pocket, it has a lot of basements. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of these, there's tunnels too that lead to the other side of the street. So there used to be like Italian mafia, like back in like probably 1900s, I don't know. And so like back in the day when they used to do like they should actually not be able to sell alcohol. They used to hide it underneath, and then basically when the police used to come, they used to run to the other side. And the owner told me that. He's been here for like over 50 years, so pretty crazy.
That's where Chapo got his little inspiration.
Exactly. So they just demoed this one down, so you can see they had to take there was like a basement underneath, and pretty cool.
So what are we building here? Is this?
Yeah, so they're going to be. So they're going to be very similar. You know, we like to just copy the same stuff.
It's a copy paste.
It's a copy paste model. So we copy a lot of the same stuff that's actually selling in the neighborhood or that's renting in the neighborhood. So ideally, in this area of Los Angeles, I mean, normally like 5 bedrooms, 5 baths will get you around $4,800, about maybe $5,000 roughly. And so we're doing 2 duplex here, 2 units, and then 2 units back there, and it's gonna be very similar to this one. And so it's gonna be pretty cool.
So how long does this demo take?
This takes like probably a couple of days, roughly.
And the whole construction?
The whole construction, you're probably looking about 12 months.
12 months?
From start to finish.
Okay.
And then it takes like another 6 months for the plans to get done.
Sounds great. I wanted to ask you, why Boyle Heights?
Why Boyle Heights?
Yes.
Great question. So when I got in the business in 2015, and there was one of the owners at the real estate company used to come and see me prospecting all day. I'll be on my phone prospecting, and he always used to tell me like, hey, like if you get any deals in Boyle Heights, I'll buy them. Oh. And you know, I mean, my parents grew up in Boyle Heights, my mother and my dad, and so I knew of Boyle Heights, and I lived here when I was very young, and then so I knew of it, but I didn't really know much about real estate. I just knew about the violence and the crime and the gangs and all that stuff. So I didn't understand why he wanted to buy in Boyle Heights. I didn't get it. And then he would always bug me. So in 2017, I was able to buy my first house with an FHA loan, and at the time I got approved for like $450, and at the time like you weren't really able to buy a house for that price. So there was a duplex in Boyle Heights that fit that price range, and so I wrote an offer. I got my offer accepted, and then I bought my first house in Boyle Heights, and that was because like my uncle had a house in Boyle Heights, and then this Jewish owner, multi-millionaire, had a bunch of property in real estate, but he didn't share. I just kind of like, he just tell me like,
popped that question and you're like, why is he
why? I didn't get it. I'm like, he lives in Beverly Hills, top it off, right? So I'm like, why the hell is he in Boyle Heights? So that's how it started. And then from there, you know, so the beauty about things is like sometimes like, you know, through the chaos and the failure, like sometimes we can't see like the blessing. And I always really believe like there's always a blessing in everything. You know, I spent close to 10 years in prison, and I'm very grateful for the experience because now I'm doing what I love to do out here. And that was because of my you know, going through a rough time of my life. And so I bought this house. There was a ton of issues with the city, so I was coming down every single day. And there was problem after problem. To this day, still have problems 5 years later. 5 years later. To this day, I'm in a lawsuit actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's even, so
how do you keep that smile with the lawsuit and everything? How do
you know what? I always just remember that it could have been worse, and then like that this is actually like, I like to say it this way, it's like, you know, God gave me a second chance at life, and if I was in prison, I wouldn't be complaining about all the problems I have. So like, I wanted this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get in real estate. So by me complaining and like not being, being negative and everything like that is actually, it's being ungrateful for my blessings.
Wow.
And that's the way I look at it. I always remember like, man, like if I was in prison, I wouldn't be complaining about this. Is good problems. It's like good problems I have. So it's just a different perspective in life. And I'm healthy, I'm alive, my family's good. So what's the worst case? I mean, at the end of the day, they can take it all. It doesn't really matter. I have my freedom. And that's all I care about. Like, it doesn't really matter.
I seen in one of your posts that you said, and I thought it was very interesting. You said, I'm already living the life. So you already had imagined or picture yourself as a realtor in prison?
In prison, yeah. I wanted to do real estate in prison, yeah.
In prison. So how did you hear about real estate in prison?
So
what popped that question in you?
I had a friend that owned a lot of real estate, back in the day, and he was the one that told me to get into real estate because he's like, you got to get into real estate. He bought a lot of, property when he was selling drugs.
Oh.
And so he's like,
He
be
had
a
it
real
both.
estate agent, right? Be a real estate agent. And he's like, and so when I got out, I didn't even know what a real estate agent was or what they did.
So you were reading books?
Yeah, just reading books, but I just knew real estate, but I didn't know
You didn't know what? You said
real estate's so big.
Uh-huh.
Like it's so big, and I didn't know exactly what type of real estate.
Wow. What do you see? That was the light that kept you saying, one day I'm gonna get out, and this is it. This is what I'm gonna do.
I mean, I think I was always good at sales. It was just a different. Well, I wasn't really good because I got caught. So, right. But I mean, it was just a different product, right? I mean, I was selling drugs, and then real estate's just a different product, and it's a legal product,
true.
and so it was just and it's something that's legal. So I mean, and now it's just like a huge blessing. But like, to go back to the story is that I kept on going back every day to that house because I had city inspections. And I met a guy down the street, let's just say a house right there. He's under construction, and I get off the car and I'm like, hey, what are you building here? And he's like, I'm building these apartments. I'm like, hey, if I find these deals for you, would you like buy them for me? And he said, yes.
Oh.
And he's like, what are you looking for? And then he told me what he was looking for, the zoning. And so I started selling him deals. And I worked with him for many years. And he actually did a lot of business in Boyle Heights and created a lot of these comps back in like 2017.
Wow.
And it's because of him, I started developing because I seen how much money that I was making him. And I would just get the famous tap in the back, like, great job.
Great job and no
just
profit.
Made you $1 million. Literally I seen $1 million profits that they would make. And so I realized, I'm like, well, I can do this. It's just, it was just, maybe at that time I wasn't ready to do it, but I sold all these deals to a lot of developers, made them tons of money. Then eventually I started getting into, but because of that house, I wouldn't have been here.
Oh,
So
it started
in here because then I started selling a lot of real estate in Boyle Heights.
I had a question. I have like this. I wanted to see when you got out of prison. When you got out of prison, what were you doing? What was your job?
So I had multiple jobs. I worked landscaping, construction.
Really?
Yeah.
A landscaper?
Yeah, for Marina Landscaping.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
They're
so
my
Marina,
clients.
my buddy that I was arrested with, he was like a general manager, and he's like, just come and work for me, man. I kind of run the show. And it's kind of, go ahead.
So it's still like in the same field, basically.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm
Construction.
doing, I was in prison with them, so I got out, kept in contact. He's like, hey, I'll get you a job, and then like back then, like it was just more. I would pay to be that. As I said, I worked there, and I would just run around the streets all day, and that's what I did like for the first 6 months because I just kind of wanted to like be out and like catch up supposedly.
But you had that real estate idea.
Yeah.
And you were still searching for it.
So and then I got into trucking, and then I worked at Costco.
Oh,
So I was doing trucking as well, and then I worked at Costco, did construction, and just kind of had a lot of multiple jobs. And in 2014, I tried to get my real estate license, and they denied me because of my record.
Oh, wow.
And then in like 2015, I was granted my real estate license.
Oh, so there's a process
There's a
because
process,
of your record.
Yeah. I mean, automatically, because I have a felony, then they told me I wasn't able to get my real estate license.
Was that another challenge?
Very challenged, because by then I already wanted to do real estate, and it's just like if you're on the, it's like you're playing baseball and you're on the bench and you know you're a good baseball player and you just can't play.
Wow.
So I worked for someone for about a year, a little over a year, as an intern, like pretty much a free assistant. Did everything just to learn from him, and he's like a really, you know, successful real estate agent out of Newport Beach. And he gave me an opportunity, and then from there, like, you know, the doors opened up to, you know, different type of real estate.
You know, you have a lot of people out there just that you're inspiring by this. A lot of people that, you know, that they're facing, they're arrested, or they have
on drugs,
they're
or
on
drink,
drugs,
yeah.
and not only that, or people that don't have, they're not migrated to us, that they feel like they can't do anything and they're in love with real estate. So what would you say to them?
I think I mean, and it doesn't really even have to be, it could be anything, right? Like it can be a demolition or whatever it is, framing. I think it just really comes down to really not giving up. When, you know, I had a desire, well, first off, you have to understand that I didn't really get to live a life. I went in so young, right, at 18, so I was just involved in like partying, hanging out, the clubs.
18 years old.
So I didn't really get to do much. So I didn't really get to experience like really like life. So the thing is that when, you know, coming out, you know, it was very hard, because even though I was like 27, mentally I was really like 18, right? Because I was like, my mind was still when I was out. So like, it was really hard to transition into out here, right? And so like basically, but the thing is that I had a desire to want to live a normal life. And I would have been happy, like I'm not downgrading any job, but I'll be happy jumping on that track, that machine. I don't care, because I was out, I had my freedom.
That's your freedom.
And I was able to really just have a normal life. And that's all I wanted. I just want to work, you know, have a girlfriend at the time, and then eventually have a family. So like, so that really, like really, all what I would think, I just want to live a normal life. So if I get a second shot, it didn't matter. But so like the thing is that, but I had a desire to want to change, to not do the same thing that I was doing, and a passion to really want to succeed in my life. So like it goes back to like really not giving up. When you really want something, anything, like, you know, not giving up to go after it.
So you feel that part right there, where you say you don't feel like giving up, it's more associated with the fact that you have freedom. So you think about it every day. You wake up every day. It's your
exactly,
freedom.
and it's kind of like people, like I don't look through the rearview mirror, like but it's also like a reminder that, you know, like where I came from. It's a reminder of like, you know, like it's just because like I'm not glorifying jail or anything like that, but it's just a reminder of where I came from and how it was, and it just like motivates me more. Like it just drives me more.
No, I mean, it's a beautiful story. I feel like you're definitely an inspiration for many of us. I think sometimes I complain and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I look at your stories and what am I talking about? I have freedom. I have my family.
We're healthy.
My time. We're
Exactly.
healthy. Yes. So the fact that you have that story that people can listen to, it's very, very inspiring.
Exactly.
Yes. So Danny, can you guide us a little bit of what's the process here? Do we start with demo and then framing
Yeah, so
happens?
normally the process, the way it looks, I mean, you really want to find the piece of property that fits the right type of zoning to do the multifamily units. So, you know, I work only LA City, so I'm very familiar with all the zoning all across LA City. If we're in Boyle Heights, if we're in Mid-City, if we're in North Hollywood, and I know all the zoning. I know, I pretty much can tell you off the top of my head, off of like the length of the lot, the width of the lot, and what can get built, like if it has an alley. And that's just going, you know, from experience from working with so many different investors and developers that you get to learn. So, and that's the beauty, I get to learn on you know, while we make money, while I earn money.
That's
so
nice.
that's the like, number one thing is finding the right lot. And then once you find the right lot, obviously contacting the owner to try to get the deal. And then from there, you know, really finding out the right architect that is gonna help you build a project that's gonna be the cost efficient for construction. So, you know, making sure there's not a lot of steel, making sure, you know, just like mostly a lot of it's steel, and they over engineer the project is what you see. And then that can go up, like, you know, like if you do rooftops, balconies, all that stuff is included, and you have to learn how to like cut the cost to make a profit on it. So like once you find the right architect and and the right structural engineer, then you can get the plans approved and start getting the plans approved, and then that takes around 6 months.
How many projects do you have going on right here in Boyle Heights?
In Boyle Heights, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably like 8, 9, like 9.
Wow, 9 projects.
And I kind of like Boyle Heights because it's like very easy. Like we're gonna go to the inspection right now, it's down the street. And then like say we have another inspection, we just come back here. And then it just makes it easier because you know the neighborhood and you become like a neighborhood specialist. And then the inspectors start to know you and it's just like easy. And it's close by.
No, you have the relations now.
Yeah. And we're not in East LA, we're in Boyle Heights. A lot of people are like, East LA, like no, Boyle Heights is different from East LA.
So would you say Boyle Heights is the next Eagle Rock?
It's definitely,
Yes.
100%.
So we're getting closer to a bridge?
Very close. We're only 6 minutes from the Arts District. Very close. We just got to go over the bridge.
How do you see Boyle Heights 5 years from now?
It's a little tough because there is a lot of laws that protect the tenants.
Oh.
And so the gentrification is definitely going to change over maybe the next 10, 15, 20 years. But a lot of the tenants in place, the laws protect the tenants, so it's a lot harder to evict people. So I think that's what slows down the construction. Slows down the investing because you can't get people out that are paying $600 a month. So it helps both people. I mean, I understand. On both sides. Like, someone's been here for 50 years, paying $600. Like, it's tough for them to try to find a house to live at.
Okay, so what would you say to people right now? A lot of people are scared, right, to invest in development. What would you say to that?
Well, I just got off the phone with a friend, and he just lost $500,000 in the stock market.
Oh.
And so
there's no difference.
Yeah, well, so like at the end of the day, like real estate is a hard asset. Like no matter what, it might be low right now, but in the course of 5-10 years, you definitely, you'll win it on appreciation. So like, real estate is always going to be good. As long as you're in a good location, good area, you're always going to win over the long game. This one's already the first floor flame. It takes about a week for each floor. So once we call inspection, we'll get the second story up and then the third story up. And like I said here, like to get a double lot is a unicorn. Mm-hmm. It's a unicorn. Trust me, I've done this. I sold many of these development projects, and I can count on one hand how many double lots I got.
Oh, wow.
Very few. And
So
the value goes up extremely more than it did, than just one. This building will be 2 units. This building is going to be 2 units. So a total of 4 units, and it's roughly going to be 20 beds and 20 baths.
What are we going to build back here?
So it's the same thing. Literally, you're going to see this building like right over there on that side, and then same thing. That one will go there. So literally, like you're just going to have a driveway right here, and then a wall or a fence, and that's pretty much it.
I have people asking, do you do meetups?
Yeah, we're having a meetup November 11th from 11 to 3. The location we're not too sure yet.
Are they live meetups or it's just on location?
So they're on job sites.
On job sites?
Yeah, normally job sites, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I like to do Zooms too. I do like monthly Zooms, and then we do meetups as well. And then so we have a mentorship program as well. So it's a little bit of everything. It just depends. Some people don't have any money, some people can pay, and then we're looking for full-time real estate agents as well to do more of this, to help us get more deals.
So your step was first you became an agent, after an agent.
Well, I'm still a real estate agent.
You're still a real estate agent.
So we still do residential real estate.
So Danny, what advice would you give to people that either want to become a real estate agent or they want to be in real estate development?
I think always it's just you always want to shorten up the time span of getting from A to B or A to Z. Is either connecting with people that are doing it actually, mm-hmm. And that's normally it's like a coach, right? A coach or mentor. You want to hang around or be around the people that you admire to be like. So I think it's number one to reach out to people that are actually doing it like myself.
Okay. If you're in development, do you need a real estate license to?
Not to development, no. No.
Okay. And would you say maybe some mentorship? Do you offer? You said you offer
mentorship.
Yes?
So we do like the free stuff, the free Zooms, the free meetups, and then we do a mentorship program as well.
Actually, I've seen that Danny Navarro, your team is growing. So that means you're looking for a team,
Oh,
right?
yeah, oh,
What is
exactly.
you're looking for?
I mean, just really hungry, driven, and coachable, and honest and loyal real estate agents.
So what is your role here in this project?
Well, I'm a landscaper and a plant grower. So, Danny, what role am I going to be able to play here? Do we have any landscape going on?
There's
any
a bunch of
turf
landscaping all
installation?
along the side and then in the front of each building. And then there's a lot of the planters as well.
Okay, awesome. So my job here, it's just to beautify. I come at the end when the whole project is nice and built and ready for me. I just come and beautify things. That's my job.
Sounds easy, but it's not.
It's not. It's not.